U.S. President Donald Trump's visit to China was a successful and historic one as he and Chinese President Xi Jinping reached a consensus on the development of bilateral ties and exchanged ideas on major regional issues, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Friday. President Trump's visit has not only drawn attention from China and the U.S. but also attracted the attention of other countries. It became a successful and historic visit from the efforts of both countries, Hua Chunying, spokesperson of the Foreign Ministry, told a routine press conference on Friday. Hua said Xi and Trump exchanged ideas on major international and regional issues and reached a new consensus on the development on bilateral ties in the next phase. Among the important and fruitful achievements made during Trump's visit, Hua addressed 3 points, including the importance of Sino's ties, bilateral trade and economic cooperation, and the consensus reached on the Korean Peninsula nuclear issue. The two sides have reached an important consensus on the Korean Peninsula nuclear issue. They reiterated their stance on the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula to protect the nuclear non-proliferation mechanism, and to make efforts to resolve the issue through talks and negotiations. The two sides are willing to discuss the right way to maintain peace and stability in Northeast Asia, Hua said. The North Korean nuclear issue figured prominently in the Xi-Trump's meeting. The Foreign Ministry's release on Friday said both leaders agreed to push for the complete, verifiable and irreversible denuclearization of the peninsula, and that the two countries will not recognize North Korea as a nuclear power. China and the U.S. share common interests on this issue, but we still have differences on the details. After Xi and Trump met, the two great powers reaffirmed their commitment to solve the problem through peaceful means, Da Zhigang, director of the Institute of Northeast Asian Studies at the Heilongjiang Academy of Social Sciences, told the Global Times on Friday. It is now time for North Korea to respond. But Pyongyang is unlikely to give up its nuclear and missile programs, so it might lead to a greater struggle, Da said. The complete, verifiable and irreversible denuclearization is the U.S. request. China may also be preparing more specific and stricter measures to realize this goal if North Korea shows no sincerity, such as cutting off its gas supply, Jung Jiang, director of Fudan University's Center for Korean Studies, told the Global Times on Friday. On trade and economic issues, Hua said that China and the U.S. reached a constructive consensus on dealing with these issues. The two sides will continue to develop the mutually beneficial cooperation. Trade and economic ties would be pushed forward by making a bigger cake, Hua said, noting that the $253.5 billion in deals signed during Trump's visit showed the wide foundation and promising prospect of cooperation. On the second day of Trump's visit to China, a total of $253.5 billion in deals ranging from agricultural produce to high-tech products were reached, ChinaNews.com reported. China also requested the U.S. to loosen restrictions on high-tech exports to China and treat Chinese investments in the U.S. fairly, according to the release from the Foreign Ministry on Friday. The U.S. is always reluctant to do more in the high-tech fields. They should know that China's development in high-tech is very fast, and we can achieve many goals with or without U.S. exports. The U.S. should know that it is in their interests to relax restrictions, said Bai Ming, a research fellow at the Chinese Academy of International Trade and Economic Cooperation.